Today's show was recorded live at Paradiso, North Charleston's premier family-friendly social club. Dine, swim, and vibe with Paradiso. The restaurant and market are open to the public. For hours and membership inquiries, go to paradisochs.com or call 843-885-4663. Hey, everybody. Welcome to the Shrimp City Report. My name's Devin. I'm joined today by a faithful co-host that's here all the time, DJ.
I have no faith in this podcast.
I know you already put resumes into, I saw you on LinkedIn trying to get onto another podcast. Well, that's good. We finally, if this is the last one, at least we got somebody very cool and a Charleston native, I might add.
Thematic that we're back at Paradiso as well,
Oh, yeah, that's right. We do have to note that we are recording from the Paradiso Cabana Club. And we've got Shane from Barrier Islands Encounters. Shane Ziegler.
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
I had to make sure.
It's with
set the precedence for the rest of the
with
podcast.
Those names that are like extra, cosmopolitan or something,
And I can't say I'm native. I'm from Atlanta originally.
Okay, in this town, if you went to high school in anywhere around Charleston,
right.
you're
now,
native.
These days, yeah.
Oh my Lord.
It's taken a while.
It has, so. But anyway, Shane's got a pretty cool business and it's pretty fat. We did a lot of research on it, the website, all the offerings. It's an EcoTour business. So anybody all of our listeners that are Charleston natives and any tourists that are coming here, Charleston is sick with cool outdoor stuff to do, right?
Yeah, for sure.
How did you even get into doing that? Did you have an idea in your head when you were a kid that this was going to be something you wanted to do?
Were you always like an outdoor kid?
Oh yeah,
definitely outdoor kid, and it's kind of happened naturally. When I lived in Atlanta, we used to vacation to the Isle of Palms every summer, and my dad was real big into fishing. And when we'd come, we would go crabbing. We got a seine net. We go back in the creeks and pull the net. We had a gill net, which is illegal now, but that was a lot of fun. Going on the beach. And so, even when I was living in Atlanta, vacationing here, I was getting out in the creeks and throwing the cast net. And I always wanted to be a marine biologist, and I had marine biology books, and I was, in Atlanta learning about all the stuff that I was seeing when I'd come visit the beach, and always loved it. And then in 87, my parents decided, my dad kind of semi-retired, and we moved to Isle of Palms.
That's awesome. So you're over in Atlanta reading about all this, and so that must have made the trips to the Isle of Palms like even more special.
Oh yeah.
I bet you. I
looked so forward to it.
Yeah.
And it wasn't just, we'd usually come for 2 or 3 weeks
right.
then. And so we got pretty immersed.
Were people in the creeks around Buckhead going, what is this dude doing with the cast net?
Right.
I mean, those are insanely hard to learn how to throw for anybody that's, never thrown one before. So you did the outdoor experience, you were, stoked with that. You said something about marine biology, marine sciences. Did you go to school for that or anything?
Not really. I wanted to go away from home. A lot of my friends were going to Clemson, so I went to Clemson.
Yeah, go Tigers.
And
Tigers.
Right. And took resource management under Parks, Recreation, and Tourism.
There you go. Yeah.
You mentioned you also
went
party right through May.
Yeah.
You mentioned you went to high school here as well.
I did. I went to Wando.
Okay, gotcha.
Yep. So, the high school years living on Isle of Palms, we moved here, and my dad got a little boat immediately. So spent the weekends going out in the boat, doing the same sort of stuff. And then one of the favorite things, I think almost like I appreciated it more because I didn't grow up here at that time. And so we would ride our bikes, group of guys and we would go to the back of Isle of Palms where we could walk out into the marsh to some creeks, and we'd get oysters and throw the cast net too, maybe get some shrimp, do some fishing back there. But our favorite thing was to pick oysters in the cooler months and then tromp through the marsh, go to this island and make a fire and a cedar fire.
Yeah.
And throw a grill top on it
Smoke 'em,
and
yeah.
roast the oysters over the cedar fire. And it was like our favorite thing to do.
Yeah.
They're so good.
I don't think there's a more Charlestonian pastime than having an oyster roast, you know, no matter how big or small it is.
Yeah. A piece of steel on some bricks with a fire.
Yeah.
And then, I mean, Isle of Palms, you're right by a bunch of cool barrier islands. And we'll get to that. I mean, well, hell, it's a barrier island itself. So after school, you did your thing. You went to Clemson. Did you end up coming back to the Lowcountry after school?
I did. So when I was at Clemson, I knew I liked teaching. I've always enjoyed kids and teaching, and, you know, my own friends, bringing them out in the, you know, in the wild, or, you know, camping, hiking, that kind of stuff. It's always come natural to me. But when I was there, I kind of figured out that I wanted to do outdoor education. I didn't want to be in a classroom. I wanted to be outside, wanted to work with kids. And I got an internship at hunting for the state parks. Yep. And so I worked at Hunting Island State Park, Santee State Park, Table Rock State Park, McCormick State Park. But I fell in love with Hunting Island State Park because it was a barrier island, but undeveloped, and just a little more like lush than here down in Beaufort area. Hadn't been hit by a hurricane for a long time. And I saw the naturalist position there. And so what they did is basically took people on nature hikes and worked with the sea turtles, and gave alligator talks and shark tooth talks and, you know, all that kind of stuff. And so I was like, that's what I wanted to do. And when I got out of Clemson, I ended up getting a job at Hunting Island State Park as assistant naturalist doing the educational programs.
Oh, fantastic.
So was it a lot of like getting your feet wet, no pun intended, like, you know, experience? Like learning?
So I learned how to, I guess, like translate nature to people when working there. And the head naturalist there, Mike Walker, he was like a walking encyclopedia. And I was also forced to learn. So, you know, listening to him talk, asking him questions, you know, you're actually doing it, leading a tour. People ask you questions you don't know. You go look it up. You know, then I didn't have the internet.
No, but
so I had to actually like look it up and read about it.
That premise, I worked at the parks for a time as a counselor. I love the idea. And we had like a naturalist come in who would show us all this stuff. I always loved the concept of seeing it in real life rather than reading it out of a book, you know, or seeing a picture of it in the book of like, oh, this is a local plant, you know, being able to see and experience that in real life.
Yeah. And somebody to interpret it for you and in an interesting, fun way that you can kind of relate to. It's like, you know, kind of put a story behind the different plants and animals. Yeah. It makes it fun and interesting. And, you know,
and gosh, I'd say you're hard pressed to find any place that has more story, just like historically, than Charleston.
Yeah,
you know?
stuff.
Oh yeah,
yeah. I'm serious. I'm sure it's still a challenge though to keep engagement with folks when you're doing tours and stuff like that, and kids. So you know, kudos to y'all, because I did not go into any kind of teaching. So, all right. So, Barrier Island EcoTours. We may be familiar with regular touring. I guess go ahead and tell us all about the company.
Sure.
You know,
sure.
And what sets you apart.
Yeah. Well, we started it, actually, a good buddy of mine, Jose Hernandez and Max Barwasser. This was in like when I was still working at the park at Hunting Island. We kind of came up with the idea while we were roasting oysters on Capers Island. And anyway, ended up, Max went to law school. Jose and I started it up with a small boat, just taking like 6 people out. And we saw there was a market for it. So I quit my job at Hunting Island, and we ended up putting our money together, and we got a 40-passenger tour boat.
Yeah.
And where we could make it a little bit more affordable for people, instead of having to, you know, if you're only taking 6, you got to charge a lot more. So 40 people, we could charge less. Bring families out. But basically, the basic eco tour is we're exploring the salt marsh on the way out to Capers Island. We pull crab traps. We have sometimes habitat traps that we pull, throw the cast net. You know, we'll check out the oyster beds. If it's oyster season, we'll shuck oysters for people. You know, probably the freshest oyster you'll ever get.
Yeah.
But we're basically talking about the local ecology and wildlife as we see it. There's no script. We just kind of whatever comes, we talk about. And then we get out to Capers Island, which is a beautiful, undeveloped barrier island. The state owns it. And it's got a really awesome beachfront called the Boneyard Beach, where the island's been eroding about 15 feet a year for over 100 years. So it's the old forest goes all the way down to the low tide line. And it's like a sculpture garden of dead trees out there on the beach. The salt water doesn't rot the wood, almost petrifies it. So people spend time out there. There's some trails you can take if you want to go into the interior. But so that's kind of like our basic eco tour. But we have different versions of that and some other offerings like fishing and.
Okay. Yeah, we can talk about some of those. So it's not exactly like your basic harbor tour where you get, or, dinner. So you're actually going out and doing, not chores, but you're doing activities. That's fantastic with the crab tour. And also Capers is not like a well-known place to people that are, unless you're kind of around here,
right?
That's because there's no way to get on to Capers, right? Other than the boats.
Just by boat.
Yeah, that's what I thought. And so that must be super special for anybody taking the tour.
Yeah. Also, like, elephant in the room, having the large format is so great too, because a lot of these tours are so expensive, So by having the large format, you're able to, cut down price. And honestly, I've looked up tours just for like Myrtle Beach or like, even Florida, and I'll get blindsided by the price. So that's nice that y'all have like this, like family friendly, department.
Yeah. And then we got smaller boats. We've got two 49 passenger boats now.
Okay.
And then we've got two smaller ones. One's 6-pack for more of our fishing boat. And then we've got a Carolina skiff we can take up to 16.
Okay.
And that one we do a lot of family fun days on, which is a great trip. It's a private charter, but we'll have like a family or a couple families together, and we'll go out and we'll do a little fishing, a little eco tour, pulling some crab traps, spending time with dolphins, go out to the island, maybe do some crabbing with the hand line and chicken neck, and even do a cookout on the beach. We'll bring a grill and grill hamburgers and hot dogs, or do a Lowcountry boil.
Man, that's super cool. So if we were to go fishing with you, you would have all the gear?
Everything you need, license, everything, yep.
Okay, that's fantastic. Yeah, and crabbing with a chicken neck and on the string. That's what experience
I've always been
is
preference to gizzards, but sure, yeah.
Yeah, well.
You like the gizzard?
Oh, yeah.
You don't, for
I'd try that. I don't think I've tried the gizzard.
That's what we used to do when I used to, like I said, do camp counseling, and we would have at the park, have like all the kids, we would just do like those pull-up nets, or those pull-up like cages.
Yeah, the baskets, Yeah,
the baskets. And we'd have like 5 set at a time, and the kids would just wait. And getting a 8-year-old to wait to pull on that would kill them. So,
especially somebody, I mean, you getting any 8-year-old in 2025 to have a string with a chicken neck or a gizzard on the end of it. That's pretty low country, or it's pretty Southern at least. So, okay. So you have these different tours, you have different size boats, you can do fishing. So say I wanted to do, can you do like private charters and maybe like build your tour a la carte?
Yes, that's basically like what the family fun day is. We just gave it that title, but it's really like customize your own excursion. We used to call it that, but then calling it family fun day seemed to attract more business. But basically, it's just customized trips. So you kind of pick and choose what activities you want to do.
So do y'all keep the same like tour path through the seasons then? Do y'all change it up ever?
Yeah, we do. And we run our Capers Island Wildlife Exploration and our Dolphin Discovery Sunset all year round. Keep a schedule. We run it more often in the summer. And then in the summer, we, like June through August, we do a crabbing trip also, which is a lot of fun. Kind of, you get like the eco tour. We go to Capers. Everybody gets off the boat. We give them a hand line and crab net. They go crabbing kind of on the marsh side, Capers. And then we catch and release all the crabs. If they get bored crabbing, they go swimming or walk the boneyard. Yeah. But we bring a bushel of live crabs, what we bought from the crabber that morning. And steam them up and dump them on tables on the beach, and people chow down.
Crab,
man.
Yeah. Some
crab crack,
ice cold watermelon go along with it. But that's a fun trip. People love it. It's a great family trip.
That is very cool. So I was wondering when you mentioned seasonal, if the dolphins are around,
they're there,
how the crabs are running.
Yeah. And you see different things for the seasons, and the marsh grass changes color. The the water gets. I love the fall and the winter. Here are my favorite months.
How did they? I guess everything, tourist season. I guess it stacks up with everything. But I assume with Charleston's at least moderate weather in the fall and winter, you stay pretty packed with bookings, right?
We do, and now that there's a lot of states are doing year-round schools, it's really helped. I think everybody in the tourism business to where we don't have as much of a like this week. It's like a fall break for a bunch of schools. We're filling up trips where a lot of times this is a little bit slower, and then in like February there's a winter break, and if the weather's decent, but our one of the biggest parts of our business is our school groups, and we do about 10,000.
Oh, really?
Students a year.
Wow,
So
think about that.
From March into February through the end of May, we're running school groups just about every day.
How many people do you have working for you right now?
About a dozen.
Okay.
Yeah. And they're amazing. Like I've got some people that have been working for me for over 20 years. And I mean, they're like seasons naturalists, very personable. There's like saying there's no script with our tour.
Yeah.
So whoever you go, it's always different anyway, but everybody has a little bit different twist on how they do the tour.
So is it the captain who's essentially the showrunner, or do y'all have like a captain?
So like on the big boat, it would be a captain driving, and then the naturalist.
Yeah. Okay.
But most of my captains are also naturalists.
Okay.
Most of my naturalists have their captain's license.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So it's interchangeable.
Yeah.
And that's, I guess with that's a good advantage to have the naturalist as the captain, because I presume besides talking about the ecology and wildlife and whatnot, I'm sure there's some Lowcountry and Charleston history involved in that as well.
There is,
Yeah. So you have to be pretty abreast at that.
How are y'all with like dealing with weather and all that stuff? Because I'm sure it's just turning on a dime.
Yeah, we just kind of play it by ear. We try to encourage people to come down to the boat if it's looking iffy, or those afternoon thunderstorms in the summer, and the captain makes the call. But a lot of times they'll blow through, then it's beautiful.
Yeah.
But the school groups, they're usually coming, and a lot of times it's in the spring where it's pretty. They're coming from, so sometimes pretty far inland.
Oh, really? Okay.
Columbia, or even way up the state.
Oh, really? Okay, yeah.
They come from all over the state, and they come thinking they're going to the beach. It's going to be nice and warm. And pretty chilly. It can be rainy. That's can be challenging because we become teachers. We're kind of teachers anyway, but we're following all the science standards for the different grade levels, and so that takes a lot of energy to be in front of kids for 4 hours out in the weather and keep them entertained.
Yeah. When I was talking earlier about keeping the engagement of your customers, I was just thinking about the family that was coming in. I wasn't thinking about 39 or 40 students.
Right.
And I'm thinking about me when I was a student, so that's, so you really are a bunch of well-rounded, naturalists, historians, captains, I guess good stewards of your community and ecosystem.
Try to be.
That's pretty rad. And you've been doing it. How long's the business been?
It's in 98. 97 is when Jose and I, first started doing on the small boat, and then 98 is when we got the big boat. But really since 97.
Oh, right on.
Yeah.
DJ wants to know if he can drive the boat.
Yeah, I mean, I've driven one boat before in my life, so I feel like I could do it.
You come on the boat, I'll let you drive it. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Say this now. Just do a cut into the future where I'm paying all the insurance. Yeah. So we talked about like the public size. What about public booking? How in advance should people be booking ahead of time?
It kind of depends on the time of year, and also we're doing so many school groups in the spring, but usually a week out.
Okay. Yeah.
Is good. Yeah.
That's actually
that's really
good. Yeah.
Good. Yeah. And I guess we can do it all on the website.
Yeah. We work with Fair Harbor, a lot of companies do, but it's real easy. You can go on, go to our website and
Your website's nice, man. Who,
thank
who
you.
did that?
Thank you. Fair Harbor did.
Yeah,
Oh,
that's a
really?
rad
Yeah.
website.
We're
I
constantly working on it.
got to give them props because there is a lot of really cool stuff on there. TJ, you mentioned one of the things that you really dug about them when you were doing the research is the work they do with the aquarium.
Yeah, the cleanup that y'all do.
Yeah, we're doing that this Friday. We did it last year too in conjunction with Beer Week last year. And but this year we're just aquarium wanted to partner with us again.
I mean, you had me at Lowcountry Boil.
Yeah.
And,
so tell us about the event. or
So
the-
so that's this Friday, and we actually don't have that many people signed up, so we'd love to get some more. But
Yeah.
we'll go, instead of doing capers, because we just did a capers cleanup a couple weeks ago. We're going to go along the waterway, some of those shell banks and little hummock islands off the waterway, and drop people off and let them walk the edge of the marsh and pick up trash, and then get them back on the boat and head out to Capers, and they'll have a little time to explore out there while we cook up a Lowcountry boil and eat it and enjoy the sunset.
That's such a great thing for Charleston.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, talk about giving back, but also receiving. So, and it's at Caper. DJ, do you like capers? By
I know you said I prefer mysteries.
Damn it, you took my joke. Well, we're going to go to a commercial. We're going to go to a commercial right now. We'll talk to y'all in a second. Hey, everyone. We really want to encourage you to visit the refinery in Charleston, South Carolina. The refinery is a beautiful mixed-use facility that's home to upscale office space, 2 restaurants, the Limbo Lounge, and an amphitheater that hosts national, regional, and local acts year-round. We cannot recommend it enough. Go to therefinerychs.com to get event and venue information. You can also go to the site to learn how you can even book the spaces you want for your own event. So go check them out, and thanks. Hey, we're back with the Shrimp City Report. Thanks to the refinery again for that wonderful commercial.
Yes.
So we're still talking with Shane Ziegler. Okay, so the EcoTour business. I assume that you have the Lowcountry, Capers, in that part of Charleston set. Do you have any ideas, or have y'all ever thought about expanding anywhere up and down the coast, or I guess anywhere in period?
We have, but my motto's kind of always been keep it simple, stupid. And so we've got a thriving business at the marina. There's still a little room for growth.
Yeah.
There's only so many boats that we can have, and there's only so many people that you want to be out at Capers at one time, or you're going to take away from the experience. So I'm pretty happy with the way things are. I really don't have any. I've thought about it in the past, but I'm getting, to an age where I've got, family and kids, wife, that's a little more important to me than spending all my time trying to grow the business anymore.
Yeah, and I guess it would be hard to spread thin.
I don't want. There's definitely been opportunities, to go down to Beaufort or to Bohicket or stuff like that. But I just
also
decided to keep it simple.
You want to tour where you know or where you're.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
It's a good business.
So how many employees do you have now?
12, so maybe in the summer, a couple more, but pretty much 12 employees year round.
Okay, wow.
And because we're so busy with, the school group, it's at one school group, we may have a couple hundred kids show up.
Yeah.
At one, it takes like 7 people to run. And then we got other, we might have a morning and afternoon. They take a lot of energy, but yeah, about a dozen.
So for the school groups, did they come to you, or is it one of those things that you were just able to, I guess, get yourself?
Just kind of organically grew over the years, word of mouth.
Yeah.
Like, honestly, I think when teachers were searching, you guys heard of Barrier Island, Camp St. Christopher?
Yeah, we know.
I went there.
Kevin.
Yeah,
everybody went there in South Carolina, right?
Yeah.
So we're Barrier Island EcoTours. So I think when teachers started searching, they came with us, and then they started also a lot of the schools, they got away from doing it overnight.
Right.
And so we're kind of like the daytime version of that for school groups. And I think just the staff that I've hired, they're so good. They've been so good that the teachers, when they bring their kids with us and we're following the science standards, we used to go to conventions and stuff like that too, in the beginning to drum up business. But some of these same schools have been coming back for 15, 20 years.
That's
and
fantastic.
Then, more keep finding out about it. And we're pretty much about as busy as we can be in the springtime.
I mean,
Yep.
it's clear that the eco part is a good namesake for EcoTours because, I mean, education-wise, it seems like y'all are going all out to teach people
responsible
about the environment and
citizens.
stuff. Where some tours, it's like, all right, take your pictures. There's some dolphins. Go ahead,
Yeah.
Yeah. How's the response? Do you ever have any of the kids that go out and do that, and then they're like, "Hey, how do I do this? Do you have any? Is there anywhere I can go learn to study about this stuff?
Oh, sure. Yeah.
You have a lot of good positive feedback.
We do. Yeah. Yeah. And I have kids walking the beach with kids. It's probably the most rewarding part of the business is, and I think I can say that for all the employees, is the school groups. When you get these kids that, especially the ones that aren't from around here, that it might be their first experience getting out on a boat, seeing a live crab, seeing a live dolphin, walking the beach. I've had them say, "This is the best day of my life." So that's really rewarding.
Oh my gosh, it is.
You get all these kids and the parents that come with them just really into it. And then, the kind of the whole goal, the mission when we started was, we'll bring people out, teach them about the stuff. No, we're just not taking a sightseeing tour saying there's a dolphin, there's a crab or whatever. We're actually learning about it, appreciating the area, and then they're going to want to protect it.
So education's always been like a foundation there.
Yeah. Definitely. Yeah. It's always been about that. Yeah.
And I mean, listen, in this day and age, everybody's plugged in, everything's a screen. It's kind of you're doing an honorable service to, just back to the ecology, being in nature. And it's not even like somebody's, helicoptering these kids into the backwoods of Vietnam.
Yeah.
It's the beach. It's 25 minutes away, but now folks are they don't get out. The kids, a lot of them, and I'm not disparaging that. That's just a generational thing.
Right.
It's a very honorable thing that you guys are doing with
thank
a
you.
cool ass business.
Thank you.
So besides go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
Besides the waterway cleanup coming up, what other events do y'all have kind of down the road?
We're going to set up a couple of birding trips this winter.
What is that?
Where it's just specifically going out. We're going to have more of our expert birders leading that.
Really?
trip.
Oh, wow.
And,
That's very cool.
Exploring the marsh and just really focusing on the different birds.
I need to go on that trip because the amount of times I've just been like in a lake or like in a river here and just been like, oh, there's a heron. And I know
is it a heron, crane,
I know it's not
egret,
I know
or
it's not a heron.
Nobody can tell.
It's just like the general bird name for everything.
That white bird that looks like from the Lowcountry. And then my wife got one of those apps recently from Princeton or something that you can tell what a bird is that's singing or something. Man.
Yeah, those are cool.
It is very cool.
Yeah.
And I think the birding is going to be a great idea.
Yeah.
And I know my wife will dig that.
And that's going to be like in like probably January, February.
Okay.
It's a great time to go out. There's usually hardly anybody else out there. And,
it is.
And then we're going to do a women's coastal skills.
Oh, really?
First time we've done it. I used to do one at Hunting Island, and that's where I got the idea. But I've got several naturalist captain ladies and gonna go. And then also Courtney Hudson worked for us for years, and she started her own business training. It's called Golden Girls, and she trains women how to drive boats and ties into ecology and everything that goes with driving a boat.
Man, that's cool. We need
from launching it to docking it, everything, and understanding the waterways, navigation. So women's coastal skills, where basically it'll probably be over 2 days where they learn to harvest oysters, clams, throw the cast net, surf fish, fishing, inshore fishing, how to tie knots, all that kind of stuff. And also boating. Courtney's going to come in and help do some boating. So
that's such a great idea.
We don't have the date set yet, but that'll be on the website soon. And then we're going to do that. And then not sure if this is going to be the title, but like a shellfish workshop. We used to do these where we take people out to the public oyster grounds and teach them how to harvest oysters and clams and rib mussels, which a lot of people don't know about. They're the mussels up in the high marsh.
Yeah.
They're actually edible and delicious. And so show them how to harvest it, and then go over to Capers and roast some oysters and clams and some chili,
Awesome,
have
yeah.
some chili. And
That's so interesting because you see oysters
Mhm.
beds all over the Lowcountry, but I'm sure some are not fit for eating.
No.
You know,
Yeah.
So that's a good one.
Yeah, I mean, as much as like I've heard about people getting oysters, I've heard just as much about people like choosing the wrong oysters.
I've been
Right,
through a lot
yeah.
of Johns Island oyster roast where it was pretty sketch.
Yeah.
You know what was served, but
But that's great.
Yeah.
Being able to look. Do y'all get a lot of like, I guess, purchases for like holidays, like gifts and stuff like that too?
We do, yeah. We have, you can go online and buy gift cards.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah.
yep. Okay.
Honestly, while you were mentioning all this stuff, I was like, okay, I'll get that for him, and him.
Oh yeah, knock it out. That's a good idea because
Yeah.
we're part of Lowcountry Local First as well. So it's all about local services and
Nice.
whatnot. So
Yeah.
we'll share that information. DJ and I used to ask this early in the podcast. That
Yes.
I guess the infancy of it when we used to talk to a lot of Charleston natives or a lot of longtime Charleston people.
Yeah.
You're perfect for this question. What is your favorite way to prepare and eat local shrimp?
Okay.
Yeah. It's,
So I am a chef as well,
Okay,
oh, really?
cool.
Okay. Yeah.
you know,
Uh-huh.
self-proclaimed. But I like to not boil, not steam,
Mhm.
not get anything too fancy, but get a pan with some beer
Yeah.
and a little lemon juice,
Mhm.
a little garlic, a little Old Bay,
Hmm.
and just put them in there and just on like medium heat
Yeah.
and just keep turning them. You don't want them to cook too fast because you want them to soak up that.
Is this shell
Okay.
on or
Juice.
shell off?
This is shell on, and
Okay.
I would prefer the head on.
I was-
as well.
that
If you
was
can get
my
them fresh enough.
Next
Yeah.
The
question.
head on gives some good flavor in there.
Yeah.
Especially in like May when you get the roast shrimp.
Mhm.
Yeah.
That's
Absolutely.
my favorite time to do that. And just slowly saute them. They soak up that juice.
Yeah.
And also when we do low country boil, a lot of people overcook shrimp.
Oh, to the max.
Oh,
You
absolutely.
know, if you got it boiling, it takes like a minute or
Mhm.
less, and they're
Mhm.
done. So when we cook it, we turn the heat off and let the pot sit for at least like 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And then when you drop the shrimp in, instead of cooking in 30 seconds to a minute, they take maybe 5 minutes because you just keep
It's a good
stirring them,
idea.
and they soak all that delicious juice
Yeah,
that
yeah.
you've made, and they're way more flavorful and tender.
Yeah, because the low country boil or frogmore or whatever you call it, think about the entire time that we put into doing the broth and
Yeah,
doing
it
the
is
corn,
basically
the
you're making
potatoes
your
and
own
everything. And
custom
then
stock,
to your
yeah.
point, shrimp in, even, we prefer head on. It still is done in a minute.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Your idea is, I like that. It's like
Yeah.
sous vide or something.
Yeah.
Let it cool
You know?
down. And
I liked how not elaborate, but like detailed you were. The amount of people in our early ages when we used to ask that, and he would just go fried.
Yeah.
That would be the answer.
Boiled.
Yeah.
Fried rice, something like
Yeah.
that. So
So,
yeah, I love to cook and I love to eat. And I
Yeah.
love fresh seafood that I catch myself.
Oh,
you know,
yeah.
So, yeah.
Oh yeah, absolutely, and that's Shrimp City Report. We're trying to rebrand the town as Shrimp City, so
Okay.
Yeah.
super fans.
Yeah.
Although my favorite food in the world is soft shell crabs, so
Oh,
Oh yeah.
that season is always
Mm.
exciting.
Mhm.
I've just been on a giant oyster kick this last year.
Well,
I don't know
season
why,
it's
but,
about to
like-
kick in hard.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I can't wait.
Yeah.
I haven't had one yet this season, but I can't wait.
I can't either.
all right, I think we've covered just about everything we can cover. Do you have any save rounds, DJ?
Nope. All good.
Okay, so Shane, if you're good, we're going to go and wrap it up for the week. We really appreciate you coming by.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Yeah, I had a great conversation, and everybody come check out the Barrier Island EcoTours. We'll have all the links in the webpage, the social media. You'll see us on social media, Instagram, whatever we want to do.
Yeah.
So anyway,
Awesome.
y'all have a great week, and God bless. Thanks.
Bye.